All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day, start to your day, whatever time it may be. And no, this title is not clickbait. This is something that I personally have been considering doing for the last couple of weeks. I've just been looking for a good deal. And this is something that I've been seeing on the Facebook forums at least twice a day. So if I'm thinking about it, other people are thinking about it, it might be the smart decision. But as always, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. In this video, we are going to be discussing if it is worthwhile trading in your base model, specifically a base model 2024 Mustang GT in for a performance pack, or if you can afford it, the Dark Horse Mustang, even if you are the person like me who is going to be modifying the vehicle. Now, like I said, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. If you guys enjoy the content on the channel, feel free drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Let's get into it. Now, one of the main reasons I'm considering trading in my base model 2024 Mustang GT in for a performance pack is going to be the additional cooling, specifically the oil cooler. Now, these base model S650s do not come with an oil cooler, and anybody who has a base model that pays attention to their oil temperatures, if you have a base model and you don't pay attention to your temperatures, I highly recommend you start doing. These cars run incredibly hot in a very, very short period of time. Not really incredibly hot, but they get warm enough to the point where you kind of have to chill, let it cool down, and then go back to having fun. That's something that is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, obviously, you have to let a car cool down sometimes, but after two hard pulls, if I have to be kind of looking at my oil temps and be like, okay, I gotta let it cool down for a couple minutes and I can go out and do it again, there is an issue in my personal opinion. Let's get a cold start, get a little POV drive going. Man, it's like 90 something right now, so you guys are gonna see firsthand, if you do not have a 2024 Mustang GT, exactly what I'm talking about as far as the oil temps getting hot incredibly fast. I gotta get oil, not oil, I just changed the oil. I need to go ahead and get gas. Outside. And we're gonna go on a little drive. Man, I just love the way this car sounds. Now, before I get any further, I know there's gonna be comments, oh, are you not enjoying the S650 anymore, this and that? No, I absolutely love this car. There's a reason why, if I was to trade it in, it'd be for another one, because I love the car so much. This is honestly my second most fun favorite car I've ever owned. And this is the slowest one. Well, technically, the white 2-valve was before it was built up, but this is my second most fun favorite car I've ever owned, obviously next to the Shelby GT350, because I mean, it's a GT350, but this is such a great car. It's a great daily driver. It's great for fun, short, controlled bursts, but I would like a little bit more performance out of it under, I guess, the supporting mods category. Whew. also going to be for those who are looking to get into an S650 Mustang that don't really want to modify the car at all, or at least not off rip, because believe it or not, we're in the minority. You know, fellas like me who like to modify vehicles. I mean, every single vehicle I've owned, for the most part, besides like a truck that I had for like 8 months, I've supercharged or it's already been supercharged. I like to modify my cars quite extensively, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the S650. But that being said, for those of you who want to jump into an S650 Mustang GT and just enjoy it, you know what I'm saying, drive it how it's meant to be intended, revving it out, you know, to the 7,000 plus RPM range, take it to the track, you know, have fun on the street, you know, do pulls, digs, whatnot. The performance pack, after I've owned this car for 3 months, jumping in and out of my Shelby GT350 as well as this car, the performance pack is going to be the better option. I can 100% say that after living with the car, because a lot of people will not admit to things after they lived with the car for a certain amount of time, especially if it isn't their only sports car that they own. Now, we're going to be specifically talking about the cooling, we're going to be talking about the handling of this vehicle, and overall the styling, because I know some people, you know, really like to go ahead and, you know, up the styling of their car. For me personally, ironically, I love the modified cars, but as far as appearance goes, I mean, you've seen it with all my cars, the most I'll do is like change the hood, and that's honestly, you know, for a performance reason as well, whether it be heat extraction or weight reduction. I keep my cars mostly stock looking on the outside. It's like under the hood and under the chassis is where I typically go ahead and do modifications. This guy, this V6 New Edge, is absolutely ripping it. So right now, you know, it's 100 plus degrees outside. I mean, it's hot, you know what I'm saying? It's not cold or cool, but one pull, we're at 233 oil temp, and that wasn't even up to 7,000 RPM. We're at 240, wasn't even up to 7,000 RPM. Now this is around the area where, for me personally, I start letting the car cool down, because once the oil starts to get closer to 260, starts to get over 270, you can experience oil like breaking down, and that's not good. And the fact that, you know, I did 2 little pulls, not even up to red line, not even close to red line, and this car is already getting hot as far as the oil goes. I mean, granted, it's 100 degrees outside, but if it was 90 degrees, if it was 85 degrees, it'd be the same thing, because I bought this car before, you know, the summer really hit. I bought this car 3 months ago. It was the same thing. Now, granted, the temperature does cool down relatively quickly. It's already, you know, about to be under 230. This is something you're gonna have to make sure you're monitoring. Something definitely happened here, man, because there's a lot of road debris. Oh my gosh. Hope everybody's good, because something definitely happened right there. This is something you're gonna have to go ahead and think about if you are planning on buying a base model S650. It's something that I personally was not under the assumption that I would have to monitor so closely, because the previous model Mustang GTs, S550s, they didn't have, not necessarily this issue, because you could just let the car cool down, but they did not have the situation that these cars have, where if you're gonna take it out, I mean, again, I'm doing like light pulls, getting out of traffic, right? I'm not having that situation in an S550 where I have to let the car cool down, let it cool off, for a period of time before I get back in it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go over 80 mile an hour, and I didn't take the car to 7,000 RPM, yet the oil is getting so hot. It's just something like that that makes you wonder. It makes you think in the later model S650s, not necessarily 2025, maybe the later 2025s, because I don't believe the 2025s are going to have a different cooling system. But I'm telling you guys this right now, the 2026 model S650s 100% are gonna have to have a revised cooling setup, because if I'm noticing this, 100% other people who, you know, buy a base model and maybe take it to the track, because not everybody, you know, is gonna buy a performance pack to go take it to the track. There's a lot of people who are gonna buy base models and just modify them how they see fit with the aftermarket support. You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of people treat Mustangs. They'll buy the bottom of the line base model and then do all the modifications themselves, which is 100%, you know, okay. All right. Putting some gas in her. I'm gonna put about 25 bucks of 93 in here because oh, 26. I'm probably gonna put this car on the E30 blend later on this week. I do plan on taking this car to the track, ironically. As I'm talking about taking a base model to the track and having it run hot, I'm gonna take the car to the track. Come on, let me get this. So I can get some quarter mile data when the car can actually properly hook up.
A few moments later.
All right, it's a little bit later. I actually have to let the car not only cool off, but I have to let my GoPro cool off because it's hot. It is a hot one today, ladies and gentlemen. It is 101 outside, which is insane. Ooh, somebody is tailgating. Come on, brother. What is going on up here, y'all? Get out of that for sure. I don't know what was going on over there. Temp is hot. 246. One little pull. Kind of what I'm talking about right there. I mean, that was just a little baby pull. Starting to go down though, but you know, stuff like that. You kind of have have to pay attention to in the base model. And in the performance pack, I know for a fact you would not have to go ahead and, you know, pay attention to stuff like that, man. Because I know some people like to say like anywhere 230 to 250 is like pretty much the acceptable range. And then once it starts to get, you know, pushing 260, 270, 275 is where you really need to back off. But for me personally, I don't want my car to be anywhere near, you know, on the ragged edge of being acceptable. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you want to take your S650 out and just enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing a little pull, right? Second gear 60, third gear not even halfway, I'm pushing 250 on the old Temp. You know, it's something you got to think about, man. Like I said, I love the S650, absolutely love this car, but this is something that I have to address. Either I add an old cooler to this vehicle that is going to drastically keep these old Temps in check, or I'm going to be trading it in for a used performance pack, depending on what's going on, you know, because it's just something that I personally, I just don't want to worry about. But that's just me. All right, so we're gonna cruise with the AC on because it is hot, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's 101 degrees outside, but this is something that I've been noticing happening, whether it's 85 degrees or 101 degrees. The oil temp is getting hot way too fast. Now, this isn't the only reason why, you know, I have considered going ahead and trading this car in for a performance pack. Now, we're going to be talking about the handling. Now, I live in Texas. There really isn't twisty roads and stuff like that. There aren't a lot of, you know, toge spots that you can go ahead and go, you know, hit turns going like 60 miles an hour. Obviously, you can't do that in this car anyway, but you guys get my drift. But even though there aren't roads like that, just going ahead and just taking turns, there is a little bit of body roll. You know, you aren't going to be planted in the seat. It's not going to feel as performance oriented as, you know, I feel like a Mustang should be, in my personal opinion. Now, it's not on the level of, you know, having a stock suspension, you know, New Edge Mustang, or a stock suspension S197, or honestly even S550, but it is something that you're gonna want to address if you are thinking about getting a base model and enjoying as well as daily driving. Because I bought this car to daily drive and also to enjoy, you know what I'm saying? Obviously more to enjoy, but the handling is something that you're going to want to address. And I'm also making this video for those of you who are planning on buying the vehicle and not really wanting to go ahead and modify it. I plan personally on switching out the lowering springs. I plan on personally going ahead and getting different wheels and tires. I'm gonna need that because obviously with the Whipple or Roush, depending on, you know, the numbers that the Roushes make when actual, you know, customers get the cars, shops get the cars, and we see street data, whichever the best route is, you know, that's gonna have to be upgraded. But that's something that you want to think about when getting, you know, an S650 that's non, you know, performance pack or a dark horse. The suspension is gonna have to be upgraded because obviously with the seats, like, if you're gonna take turns, you can't really see it on camera, but you kind of have to force yourself into like a position to where, you know, you're not going to be moving around in the seat. Now obviously that could be due to the fact that, you know, it doesn't have, you know, Recaro seats or an aftermarket bucket seat. But I will say this, if I do not trade this car in for a performance pack, when I do go ahead and add the Whipple or the Roush blower to this vehicle, I am going to be switching out the driver's seat to either a Recaro or some type of fixed back bucket seat. Yes, I said fixed back bucket seat because I like the feel of being snug in the seat and not moving around when you're doing pulls, and also when you are taking turns at, you know, an acceptable speed. That's just for my personal preference, and I know a lot of guys who are buying Mustangs that want the more kind of performance oriented option. They're gonna like that a lot more, and that's obviously gonna be, you know, coupled with the tighter suspension that comes with the performance pack, as well as potentially going ahead and getting one that has Recaro seats optioned in. Even though I see a lot of performance packs that don't have Recaro seats optioned in, just having the stiffer suspension would make a significant difference. But it's something that, like I said, I plan on upgrading regardless if I do keep the base model or if I get a performance pack. Technically, I wouldn't have to do it if I got a performance pack, but if I was to find like a used performance pack that, you know, did not have, you know, the Recaro seats, I still would go ahead and upgrade the seat for my own personal enjoyment, even though it does have tighter suspension. But I will say this, as a daily driver, having the car not being as low and as being, I guess, as soft is really, really nice though, because you can kind of get over speed bumps without really thinking about it too much. If there is any type of like indentation like on the road, or like some type of, you know, steep decline or incline, you can kind of get in and out of spots a little bit easier. But, you know, obviously once you start putting power down, real power down, you're gonna have to stiffen up the chassis a lot more. AC blows cold. It's like an industrial freezer in here. I swear to God. I got the windows cracked so y'all can hear the exhaust a little bit more, but it's still freezing in here, which is really helpful when it is 100+ degrees outside. And also to keep my GoPro from overheating. I just love the way these cars sound, man. The Gen 4 Coyote. Woo! Got that deep tone and, you know, that auto rev match. It's nice in this vehicle, I will say that. Whew. It is a hot one, y'all. Since it is now sunny out, back to normal Texas weather, finally go ahead and get this car washed and detailed. But ironically, as I was just talking about, let the car cool off, let the GoPro cool off, my GoPro overheated. Now let's go ahead and talk about styling on the base model versus the performance pack, because there are quite a bit of differences. Personally, I like the way they both look. I like the sleek look of the base model, but I'm not gonna lie, just the subtle differences on the performance pack do look quite nice. Now obviously on the base model, it's gonna have like the very, very minimal front lip. I mean, it really isn't even a front lip, but in all reality, I do enjoy it. I like just how clean and how simple it is. On the performance pack, I'll put a screenshot so you guys can take a look at it. It does have the extended front lip, but I don't know, I like the way this one looks. Now also, the performance pack is gonna have like the raised wing, which it does look good, but on the base model, I honestly like this, if you would even call it a wing, like this little piece right there. Now you can obviously swap this out and put the performance pack wing. It's gonna bolt up like stock, as well as the extended splitter, which I might do, at least maybe the extended splitter. I don't know if I'm gonna do the wing, just for the fact that I like the way, it looks, man, the subtle differences. Now something else that the performance pack does have that the base model does not is it does have a different rear end gear ratio. The performance pack has 373s, whereas my base model has 355s. Now ironically, even if I were to trade this car in for a performance pack, I would go ahead and swap back to 355s just because it's going to be a better highway gear. I can hit 130 in fourth, which is actually really important for me personally, because once I do boost the car, being able to hit 140 in fourth gear is gonna be really important. 130 in fourth gear as well. So that's something you can't do with the 373s, with the 7,500 RPM redline, even the 7,800 RPM redline, you can't do that. So that's gonna be something that if you are planning on boosting the car and you wanna have, you know, I guess top end and the ability to hit 130 or 140 in fourth gear, 355 gears are what you're gonna have either in your base model or in your performance pack. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get back home in the AC. I got some things to do today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Want to go ahead and give you guys this raw review and kind of what I'm thinking right now. Either I'm gonna be, you know, adding supporting mods to this car, or I'm gonna be trading it in and getting a performance pack, which kind of goes to show you how much I really enjoy the S650, because usually people consider trading in a car, it's not to get another car, you know, in the same, you know, family. It's always to go to a different brand or, you know, something completely different, like getting a GT and then going to, you know, a GT 500. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think, if it's a good idea, if it's a bad idea. Yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.